Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kaz. In this episode, I have another bin, yet another bin to go through of stuff, and it looks like I have a bunch of books in this one. Looks like books and magazines, so let's get to this and check out to see what is in this bin. Will by G. Gordon Liddy. G. Gordon Liddy, the autobiography of G. Gordon Liddy. I like reading autobiographies as opposed to biographies because at least this is from that person's point of view, whether it's their own version of the truth. But G. Gordon Liddy was one of the people that broke into the Watergate Hotel during the whole Watergate scandal. And this is his autobiography of what happened, what really happened, and how he was basically given up by members of the administration, and how Nixon didn't know about it. It wasn't his, but Nixon had to do some covering to cover some people, to protect people. So this is a good book if you love history, love political history. The President's Tidbits and Trivia. I think I got this done in Williamsburg, Virginia, but this book has anecdotes, details, and fascinating facts about the presidents of the United States. This is another fun book that has little factoids about presidents. Like, for instance, let's see here. It says, don't forget the E. Dolly Madison's real name was Dolly with an E. Nobody told the ice cream people. When Dolly Madison was First Lady, she bought an imported mirror for $40 to hang in the White House. The Senate, infuriated that she had purchased the item from abroad, launched an investigation into the matter. The investigation cost $2,000. So little tidbits and information, how tall different presidents were, there are different monuments, libraries, what else? Just about the first ladies too, but about the lives of the presidents, both in and out of office. Really fun book. It's a really fun book here. Right from the beginning, Patrick J. Buchanan. Oh, this is autobiography. I read this. Yep, I remember reading this. Interesting. Advanced comments on Patrick J. Buchanan and right from the beginning. Quotes from Nixon, Robert Strauss, Tom Braden, who was the author of Eight is Enough, Vice President George Bush, George Will, William Safire, and Diane Sawyer of CBS. So it's like his Pat Buchanan's autobiography. A very young looking Pat Buchanan. And there's a little pamphlet here, The Apothecary in 18th Century Williamsburg, being an account of his medical and chirurgical services, as well as of his trade practices as a chemist. Williamsburg Craft Series. Williamsburg, published in Colonial Williamsburg. It costs $1.95. What does it have in here? Oh, the different things that the apothecary would use to perform brain surgery. Doctors. Education of an apothecary. Oh, the blood letter. And I would like to get a blood letter sometime. Those are very interesting. These little blades come out in this little box here to let somebody bleed out. Pasteur and Galt. Different ads, different roots and such for prescriptions and herbs, stuff like that. So fun thing to have. Everyone thought that Dan Quayle was an imbecile, but Dan Quayle really wasn't. He mentions in his book here, Standing Firm, that he asked a reporter why they were basically picking on him, why they were so critical of him, and they said that there was just one shot of him at an interview or he was being interviewed or being questioned, and he had this, I guess he had a deer in the headlight sort of look, so they pretty much ran with that. So here's Dan Quayle's Standing Firm, So in the back here is different selections on Sam Donaldson, on being handled, on Gorbachev, and on the 1992 campaign. Reader's Digest America's Historic Places. So let's move some of these, get this shadow out of there. An illustrated guide to our country's past. I love history. I can't emphasize enough how people should know history. Unfortunately now, people are erasing history for stupid reasons, but we need to learn from history to keep things the way that they are, as far as statues and monuments, so that we can learn from history, not repeat it. But unfortunately, there are people here that don't learn enough, aren't smart enough to know that you have to keep those monuments and statues to learn from history. But just a book about, let's see, what does it actually say? Colonial Williamsburg, Independence Hall, the Alamo. All across this land of ours, historic treasures abound, priceless relics from our country's past. They range from the homes and birthplaces of the great Americans to entire towns and perfectly preserved historic districts. Forts and battlefields, ancient Indian ruins, fine old churches, museum villages brimming with nostalgia. All these are part of the unique heritage we all share. Yes, they are. So this is a book that talks about different historical places all over the country. So I've read, I didn't read it, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't read it from cover to cover, but I've paged through and read about different things. Read about different things that are in here. So I know this cover shot is from Colonial Williamsburg. So, yeah, a really good really good Reader's Digest book to have.